Hey guys, my name is SickofBOT1. The lists may be over, but I'm not done with 2019 yet, even if 2019 is done with itself, because we still have some unfinished business here. So it's time for the moment of truth. How did we do? The lists are something I do for fun, but the year-end ranking is what I do to see the bigger picture. How much bad was there? How much average was there? How much good was there? And what's it all mean? Well, one thing I can tell you before getting into the actual ranking is that there's a lot of songs that even I looked at and thought, wait, this made it instead of Lover or Good as Hell? And that might have something to do with the chart stagnation we had for a good chunk of the year, and the fact that the year ended a week earlier than it really should have, in my opinion. So, let's get going. 0 to 5 score, starting with a string of songs I already talked about at great length in the worst list. I remember 2015 when I saw Halsey perform as the opening act for Imagine Dragons. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but I had just seen one of the future biggest pop stars in the world perform. So for her to make one of my least favorite songs of the year and decade feels wrong. But it happened, and I guess I'll have to live with that. Instead of thrashing this song again, I want to give attention to a Lewis Capaldi song that's actually pretty good. It's called Hollywood, and there, I think his voice is put to better use. There's more going on with the track, and the lyrics are much better. Even if you don't like someone you loved, I think it's worth giving a shot. Waking up to the news that Juice WRLD was gone was surreal and terrifying. I wouldn't wish what happened to him on anyone. And I pray to God that Juice's label doesn't try to milk all the unused scraps of material he may have lying around. If that album he was working on himself came out, that would be one thing, and I have no issue with that Eminem song he was featured on existing, since that's what his chorus was intended for when he was alive. Anything beyond that would just be in bad taste. I'd say Ariana should never make a trap song again after this, but The Light Is Coming was a trap song and is probably one of my favorites she's ever made, so I don't know what I'm talking about, I guess. The producer tag on this song always sounded like Young Fuego to me. I don't know why I didn't mention that on the list. Australia. Guys, I know the thing he does on the chorus is a Michael Jackson interpolation. I still think it sounds like a machine gun, plus it doesn't make the hook any better. If anything, this fact kinda makes it worse because he didn't actually come up with that ad-lib himself and is putting it in there for seemingly no reason. Noggin boots. I hate Luke Bryan. My nigga Worst meme of 2018. I think this initially got a pass because it was the follow-up to Cool, and that song was supposedly worse in every way, but over time, it's become more apparent that this is a draining piece of fluff. I don't think there's a single instrument on here that's real, and the singing is about as passionate as a middle schooler in choir. This song is dreadful, and thinking about it now, I'm wondering if I should have squeezed it onto the list instead of undecided. We started off as close friends. Somehow you turned into my girlfriend. This is one of the most useless breakup songs I've ever heard. Even more so than Be Alright and Someone You Loved, at least those had a coherent emotion. Lil Baby just sounds like he could not give less of a shit here. The beat's barren, and Baby himself admits that if someone did to him what he did to this girl, he wouldn't give them a second chance. And yet we're supposed to sympathize with him and want him to get the girl again. Eat my ass, Lil Baby! I preferred it when you were rapping about having a Pikachu car. I've got my eyes on you. The first Chase Rice song I remember hearing was Whisper from 2016, and allegedly that was the song he apologized for making shortly after releasing it. That surprises me because I don't remember him making any similar statements when this song charted, and this is also bad. Still, that will never not be funny to me. With my eyes on. And now that I've recapped my worst list, let's recap the desirable mentions. Kodak Black is just the worst. Also, the steel drums may sound unique at first, but they get really annoying really fast. Worst Drake hook of the year. Country and rap can theoretically work together. Country and EDM cannot. Country music is supposed to be organic, and most of the time when you try to inject some twang into something synthetic like EDM, it's gonna sound tacky. I really don't know who asked for this.
Now I just wanna talk you out of it.
This song now has the record for the lowest peaking track to make a Hot 100 year-end list. It peaked at 57. How the hell? More like no dignity. Between this and Press, Cardi has just gotten so annoying lately. Makes me thankful women rappers are becoming more of a thing in the mainstream, cause finally, we have options.
Wake up in the sky, you can't tell me I ain't fly.
Yeah, this got worse over time. The more I hear Bruno's completely disinterested chorus, the more patience I lose. Bruno didn't sound drunk on Please Me, he sounded drunk here.
I'm on Adderall, I be smelling high tech when I piss.
Also, Kodak Black can just stop. For the love of God, just stop. Gucci is kind of middling.
Hey, look, Ma, I made it.
Brandon Urie is a honeysuckle phony.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful angel.
Oh boy, I don't know what to tell you about this one. I like Mine, I like the album it came from, but this was just deeply tedious and annoying. And no, it's not because of Camila. In fact, I think she fares better on this song than Bazzi. It's more that the simple charm of Mine seems to have been sacrificed for an overproduced mess of a track.
Love your imperfections, I be
Plus, on the hook, Bazzi makes the common mistake of saying he loves this girl's imperfections, followed up by telling her to take off her Gucci to get naked. And it is nowhere near as sexy as Versace on the floor. Just the word naked kinda ruins the mood, you know? God, I had forgotten just how unpleasant this was.
Wake up with your girlfriend, boy.
I can look past the fact that Ari is admitting to doing something immoral for a petty reason. After all, that's clearly what she was going for. But I can't get past how joyless this is. This is why I have a problem with a lot of Ariana's trap songs. They're just no fun.
I have these lucid dreams.
This returned to number 8 on the Hot 100 the week after Juice WRLD's passing. And despite my distaste for the song, I get it. The best way to remember an artist who's passed is by listening to their music. I can't take that from anyone. Again, this entire situation is just awful anyway.
Like a whistle, your bitch suck a dick like a Kool-Aid pickle.
Now here's a song that was actually lower on the year end than I expected given its chart run. Also, this song is boring. Pre-note piano melody, aggro shouting with no real interesting bars. It feels like a fraction of a song, which is probably why NLE Choppa remade it 3 times. What a weird guy.
Baby putting on for the city. Baby, he the realest.
This song only got people's attention because both of the artists are named Baby, which just kinda highlights to me that this is kind of a stupid idea for a rap name to begin with. Lil Baby's vocal production is terrible on his verse, but it suddenly gets better on the chorus, so there's no excuse there. And of course, it's more of a Lil Baby song than a DaBaby song, so DaBaby feels wildly out of place here. These are 2 artists who really shouldn't collab together.
How you look so perfect on your worst days.
The song is not that bad with just A Boogie. It does feel undercooked, and A Boogie tries to make a girl freeze while having sex with her,
Dick on inside of you, make you freeze, make you pose.
but the beat and performance are much more tolerable than on Look Back at It. And then you get to 6ix9ine's verse, and I hate everything and I want to die.
Where these bitches at? I'm in the V with the tents. Got the effing on my body in the clip with hollow tents.
So, just to recap, A Boogie on a 6ix9ine song, pretty good. 6ix9ine on an A Boogie song, burn it. Thank God he's not in the video that was released long after the song was actually popular. Great timing. So here's where I can stop feeling angry about the music. Or at least it's a more subdued anger in most cases.
I got one they envy me.
I don't know who was listening to this. I guess it just kind of blended in with the rest of the melodic trap offerings from the year and just stuck around long enough for someone to care. Not gonna lie, I don't get it.
Bust down, Tatiana. Bust down, Tatiana. I wanna see you bust down.
For some reason, I remember Blueface's single verse having more enthusiasm. Maybe I just confused it with parts of his verse on the Shot of Flow remix? I don't know. Either way, boring as hell track.
Can we just talk? Can we just talk?
This is shrinking on me by the day to the point where I'm close to considering this bad tier. There's just no groove. Khalid may be a moody guy, but he still needs a groove to work with, and Disclosure do not cut it here.
When I die, put my money in a grave. I really gotta put a couple niggas in a place.
Conversely, this kinda grew on me, in part thanks to the beat. Yeah, it's not that bad of a beat, I'll give it that. Still, Drake is just too petty and silly here to really be enjoyable, and Rick Ross exists, I think. He also did Gold Roses with Drake this year, and that song was much better because Rick Ross talked about never winning a Grammy. It's the saddest song of the year, believe me.
A lot of lives lost, but I never won a Grammy.
I wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind.
Oh god, I narrowly avoided talking about this one in the spring, but there's no running away now. I'm sure you've heard by now that this song got popular as a result of YNW Melly turning himself in for double murder, which happened after the recording of this song, despite how detailed and grim it is, for the record. As I write this, he is still in jail, but his label is releasing music on his behalf, and I don't really know what to think about that. Anyway, I give props to this song for being effective. It's disturbing and very well written, and the performance fits the tone of the song pretty much perfectly. Unfortunately, I don't like how it sounds. It's just too abrasive for my tastes, and I do not like Melly's voice. It's just really annoying. And he uses that same voice for all his other songs too, so yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to call myself a fan anytime soon. Thank God I don't need to admit on video that I like music from a murderer. That I know of.
Meet me at the London. If you find time, we can run one.
Pretty good beat, I like Travis Scott's chorus and outro, but both J. Cole and Young Thug just drop the ball on their verses. J. Cole with the ridiculous auto-tuned bits and rambling about sliding into DMs, and Young Thug just doesn't fit the beat at all. This is something I could see working well for Offset maybe, not so much Young Thug. This guy's not gonna make another Jeffrey anytime soon, is he?
I'ma need some whiskey glasses, 'cause I don't wanna.
This just straight up sounds like garbage. The echoey guitar tones are really distracting, as are Morgan Wallen's vocal cadences, particularly on the pre-chorus. Yeah, this is a mess, but at least it actually sounds like country, kinda.
You say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing.
It's contemporary Christian music. It's mostly harmless, aside from the second verse. It's just that it's boring, and it makes me miss Adele.
Look what God gave her, how perfect He made her.
Yeah, I had a feeling Thomas Rhett wouldn't be able to keep up with the momentum from Marry Me. This mostly reminds me of a really stiff Andy Grammer song. It's got that golly gee attitude without the swing that makes it excusable for Andy. Honey, I'm good, this is not. Also the line, I know she's got haters, but it ain't her fault, just feels wrong.
I know she's got haters, but it ain't her fault.
Because why would you care if some people don't like her? You married her after all!
Beautiful people, top designer clothes, front row.
To date, I don't think Ed Sheeran has had a bad hit in America, and this is probably the closest he's gotten to having a bad hit in America. Obviously it's not bad, but I just don't think this was a good way for Ed and Khalid to meet halfway. I would have much preferred an acoustic guitar ballad. What I'm getting is basically Sunflower without the pulse or texture. I don't know what the main instrument is here, but it's not flattering for either performer. I do like the concept of worrying about fame and how it changes people, and both Ed and Khalid do their best to put on a good performance, but that beat just sours it, I'm sorry. I've gone back and forth with it for months now, and I'm sitting on, yeah, this doesn't do it for me.
They try to take my floor, I take their ass for ransom.
It's catchy, at the very least, and the boy band cover by Music by Blanks has been stuck in my head for months at this point, so I guess Lil Tecca did something right. I still don't find him threatening, though.
I want you all to myself, we don't need anyone else.
A few people have singled out Speechless as a Dan and Shay track they couldn't stand for some reason, even though this song here is uncomfortably possessive and includes the line, I want you in the worst way.
Girl, I want you in the worst way.
Which is really creepy and jarring, especially for what's essentially a country boy band song. Other than that, it sounds fine, but geez, that writing is so off-putting.
Thank you, thanks, thank you, thanks.
After the ups and downs Ariana had last year, this just rings more and more hollow. I do appreciate the little tribute to Mac Miller, but other than that, this is more about Ariana herself than it is about her exes, like you'd expect at first glance. And that's kinda deceptive. Also, this production aged badly the day Boyfriend was released.
Sky's cold, baby, never broke my
I'll give Luke Combs that he's able to do meat-headed country better than most, but this production is just not good, and the fixation on only trusting beer is not really something I can vibe with. There's using alcohol to distract from your problems, and this goes beyond that.
I want you to be happier. I want you to be.
This was #1 on the electronic charts for over a year. Holy hell. Is nothing happening in the EDM world right now? I mean, I guess you got me there. The more I think about Taylor's virtue signaling to the LGBT community, the more uncomfortable I get. I don't know if she intended to say Twitter trolls and actual homophobes/transphobes are on the same level, but that is still what these lyrics come across as. Lover the album was great though. Definitely a better collection of songs than the first 2 singles would lead you to believe. So we're all good there, I guess. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. The beginning of positivity. I get that the lyrics are condescending and full of empty threats and give a pass to Kodak Black, but this low-key slaps. I don't know why the words "I just poured something in my cup" sound badass, but they do.
I just poured something in my cup.
It's a mid-tier fun song at best, and how it made the year end, even above Robbery, is baffling to me, but it's a good first step towards Pink finding her footing again. She has had a rough decade in terms of finding relevance and putting out quality singles, so I pray this more bombastic, melancholic track is a sign that things will get better.
Play if you want, let's do it. I'm a young CEO, sure, yeah.
I'm pretty sure DaBaby remade this song about 20 times throughout 2019. Still like the guy fine, but he is gonna need to change it up pretty soon. Also, I'm really disappointed that intro flopped.
Gonna do the get up now, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart.
Yes, this was clearly made to capitalize on Old Town Road's success, but I don't care. In part because it's really nothing like Old Town Road, but also because it's lighthearted and fun, and I can't get mad at that. I can get mad that this guy's debut album was a disaster, that he remade Don't Take the Girl for some goddamn reason, and that he got Ciara to do a remix of his big hit. What's he gonna do next? Get Julia Michaels to co-write his songs? This wasn't my favorite song of the year or anything, but Jesus, his career path has been disheartening to watch.
Act up, you can get smashed up.
This song was written by Lil Yachty. I still don't know what to do with that information. It's the kind of bumps.
I just wanna be good as you.
You know what? I don't like Kane Brown, but I'll give him some credit here. This does feel pretty genuine, if a bit silly. And it's not boring! Hallelujah! Yeah, you know what? This song is actually good. Cue the Premier live chat going insane and angry. Please don't do that. I think this clicked a lot better for me when I happened to hear the original version without the Cardi verse. I genuinely like the guitar melody. Adam Levine's performance sits in that comfortable, weary tone that's surprisingly relaxing, and it's just so catchy. At least give me that. Dare I say that this song and Maroon 5 as a whole lately are pretty overhated. And true, they made better music on their first couple albums, but they've also made worse. There's nothing objectionable here. It's fine. Shout out to Andrew Prep. I'm starting to realize that I prefer pop rap Cardi B over straight hip hop Cardi B. And again, while this doesn't reach the heights of finesse, Bruno's performance is a lot better than people care to give credit for. He's powerful here, and his enthusiasm gets stronger and stronger as the song goes on, and I can respect that.
Beautiful, crazy.
She's more impulsive than she is crazy, but you've got the spirit. Also, even though I'm Leaving is a better song than this, and yet it might get caught between years, that makes me sad. The most tolerable new Drake hit this year was a reggaeton song. That sounds like a low bar, but you know what, this is still pretty enjoyable. A humble wedding song, nothing wrong with it, it just isn't tequila. I originally considered not even including this song in the ranking, but we're all mature here, I think we can handle this. Although this probably shouldn't have been a Hot 100 hit, I can't get mad at it because it actually sounds pretty good, and the animation in the music video is leagues above the children's animation that typically gets big on YouTube, and I'm not just talking about the creepy Elsa videos. If I had kids, I would be fine with them being obsessed with this song. I'd certainly find it less annoying than if they were obsessed with Let It Go. So, yeah, if you're angry at this, you need to calm down. One of the most derivative pop songs of the year, but I can still dig it. Man, how I wish those verses were able to live up to the chorus.
Too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown.
Before, my biggest roadblock to enjoying this was the "off this wave" line, but now I've gotten past that. Though Lil Baby is still not my thing, even on this song, that echoey guitar beat is something his music needs more of. Maybe I'd find him less annoying if his music sounded like this more often. Also Gunna.
I don't want your train, I'm gon' want another slave. I had to draw that out too many bitches get insane.
Safe choice for a lead single, but it's a bop. The lyrics are too cheesy for me to fully love this, but it's a fun pop tune, and both singers sound good. But yeah, Lover really should have become the big hit instead of this.
Ice chain, peeled water. Ice, ice, ice. You got the cab, but can't afford them.
It's no different from your typical Migos song, but whatever, it bumps. Culture 3 is gonna suck, though.
There's a rumor going round about me and you.
This is a doofy sentiment. Hey, there's a rumor that we're in a relationship. So, wanna be in a relationship?
What you say would make it true.
Not gonna lie, it's kinda funny. Of course, it doesn't really have the earnestness of I Don't Dance, but at least it's more charming than Hard to Love, so yes, that puts Lee Bryce at 2 for 3 as far as year-end hits go.
Rich nigga, 8-figure, that's my type.
Not bad for a song that heavily samples Freak a Leak by Petey Pablo, you know, considering that song is bad. Also, Saweetie's nice. I don't mind her. Of course, at the moment, she is a bit overshadowed by...
It's a hot girl summer, so you know she gotta live.
Yes, it's weird that the chorus of a song called Hot Girl Summer is being sung by a man. Yes, the beat isn't as summery as it really should be for a song called Hot Girl Summer, but it's fun. And despite how odd it is in concept, Ty's chorus does work as a way to appreciate the girls around him. I just picture him with a doofy, grateful smile that they're letting him even do this. And the verses are fine. Definitely the best Nicki Minaj verse I've heard in a long time, but in Megan's case, I think I prefer her on her other songs.
Do anything for clout. They do anything for clout.
They do anything for clout, like make a song with the ex-wife. But hey, it's still pretty good. I'll let it pass. Mostly for that tense piano line that's oddly ethereal and hypnotizing. I dig it. It's a very Offset beat, and Quavo probably would have ruined it if he got his hands on it.
My kids gotta have money, not just me. It's selfish.
Also, I do like how Offset wants to make sure his children are well off too. That's a sentiment I don't notice that often in rap, and unexpected coming from Offset of all people. I don't mind the drop. Plus, Ozuna's not an insufferable jackass like he usually is. He's more carefree and tolerable. Cardi does her Cardi thing.
I'm kinda scary, hard to beat, I'm like a Ouija board.
She's had better punchlines. And Selena sounds like she's gonna fall asleep. Okay, I didn't say this was amazing, but it is fun. And that's all it really needed to be. Although I am starting to worry that DJ Snake's gonna be stuck in a rut of mediocrity for the rest of his career and trying to remake this. Please prove me wrong, dude. We're at the home stretch now, the good tier. Best list tracks are within our grasp.
He say you all about money, yeah, I'm on that cash shit, huh.
This was in the great tier for most of the year, and I don't know why. I knew the beat wasn't necessarily great, but I thought both Megan and DaBaby killed their verses, and I still think that. But I guess the banality of the beat really got to me over time. It's the same issue I had with Suge. The performers are making the best out of a bad beat instead of having a beat that's fully developed with recognizable melodies. Even though apparently Megan specifically requested a beat without a melody for this, but whatever. I still call it like I see it. It's Into You Light, but considering the era of Ariana that it came out of, I'll take it.
You just gotta be worthy. Yeah, yeah.
I heard not so good things about YK Osiris after Worth It hit its peak, both artistically and personally, but for one shining moment, he made his weird singing voice actually work, and he made me believe that he was actually a nice guy, so I guess he's a good actor, but screw him. Also, guitar solo. It doesn't hold a candle to Take What You Want's guitar solo, but it's still something more trap songs need. Socks. In 2019, Bradley Cooper had a #1 song on Billboard, and was featured in what would become the highest-grossing movie of all time. I gotta say, that's pretty awesome. Oh, and also the song grew on me, etc, etc. Would probably be the song of the winter if the box hadn't strolled up to the party with its massive streaming numbers. Shrunk on Me, still pretty sexy. Now that I've gotten away from the overplay, this song sounds fresh again. Of course, it could also be because literally every other song from their comeback has been stupid, dumb, and stupid, but what do I know? This one would have gotten better for me in light of the Hollywood's Bleeding singles. It's ridiculously cathartic, though he would do this sort of thing much better with later songs.
I'm the bad guy. Duh.
Yeah, it's a weaker cut from the album, but come on. Deserved to beat Iggy Azalea's record.
Everything means nothing if I can't have you.
I still wish Lost in Japan had gotten huge.
Hey, Panini, don't you be a meanie.
One of the most meta things Nas X could have released following one of the biggest songs of all time, but I dig it. Nirvana interpolation and all.
This is God's country.
Yeah, this clicked hard. I don't know why Blake Shelton bothered with the bro country schlock when he could have been doing stuff with anthemic swell this entire time. Too bad he blew it with his follow-up singles. You don't know what you got till it's gone, I swear.
We pop out at your party, I'm with the gang.
We're just in the section of songs that really grew on me, aren't we? Yeah, Lil Jay's pretty good. The guy especially proved his worth as an auto-tune rapper with FN, which of course stands for Fleck Nipples. And in Pop Out, I can finally see why he's considered the highlight. He feels a little more legit in terms of street life than Polo, who's more about flexing and balling. Nothing wrong with it though. If this was on Death of a Bachelor, it would be the worst song. Sometimes you set the bar so high for yourself that you can't hope to reach it again. How tragic. Ellie and Sway's parts have pretty much nothing to do with each other, but both of them sound so good that I don't even care.
I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna.
So, what happened that made me really like this novelty song that I was adamant was mediocre for most of the year? I'll tell you what, it was the hype dying down. I swear, looking back, most of my disdain for Old Town Road was the way people were treating it, propping it up as beating a racist system set by Nashville or Billboard or whatever, but that conversation is long past. This isn't even charting anymore. So with fresh ears and not being forced to think about the controversy, I can say this is pretty good. Lil Nas X has a lot of charisma here. Whether by a fluke or by genuine talent, he does have some raw grit here in his voice and some catchy as hell hooks. And even though Billy Ray Cyrus is a stupid pick to do a remix with, his verse is also really good. It feels complete with him, and he manages to avoid being goofy somehow. Somewhere, this road may have started out as a meme, but it turned into a legit good trap song that in hindsight, I'm happy broke the #1 record. And so, after months of resisting, I can finally say, Old Town Road is pretty lit.
I need to be sexual. I'm no good at goodbyes.
I like to imagine there's a version of this song out there that includes a guitar solo as a bridge. Not on the level of shredding as Take What You Want, but just something fuzzed out and simple to tie things together a bit more nicely. But I suppose there's no use complaining about what a song could have been. Still a highlight for Posty, and something I'm sure I'll turn to if I ever find myself in a tough breakup.
I'm no good at goodbyes.
And now, the best of the best. Hope you don't mind if I blaze through these.
But I think that I'm done tripping, I'm tripping.
It's still weird to me that LMA has a second hit, and that it's even better than her first hit, but I welcome it.
Nothing feels better than this. Nothing feels better.
Name me a better driving song. You can't.
He used to meet me on the east side, in the city where the sun goes in.
Well, I guess this is pretty close too. Although maybe it's a bit better suited to sitting on a park bench with nothing better to do than to look at the sky. Yeah, probably.
'Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah.
I called this a wedding song on my last top 20 ranking. Let me rephrase that. This was the first song released by both Sheeran and Bieber since they got married, and the lyrics describe situations where their partners made their bad situations better. So it's not really a song you should play at a wedding, more of a song for a honeymoon gone wrong. So the anti-Eyes on You in a way. That's my case, and I'm sticking with it.
How do you sleep when you lie to me?
Yeah, I think this is way better than that Jesse McCartney song.
Younger flame, he in sicko mode.
It's amazing how I'm not sick of this yet.
It's a moment when I show up, God, I'm saying wow.
Well, I guess it did make my top 10 after all. Works for me, I'm past the shame part of liking this anyway.
You ain't my boyfriend, I ain't your girlfriend.
You know, while I'm at it, Don't Call Me Angel was pretty good too. Just putting that out there.
How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot.
Fingers crossed the next 21 Savage album has a song as good as this. I still can't believe Billie made this when she was 16.
Bury a friend. I wanna end me.
I still can't believe Billie made this when she was 17.
Jumping on a trampoline.
YouTube's copyright policies can kiss my ass.
Con calma, yo quiero ver como ella lo menea.
So I didn't do enough research for this entry, or else I would have known that Snow is actually kind of a dangerous person, and was in jail for attempted murder before recording Informer. Whoops! Yeah, considering I said Snow's not very threatening on the best list, I probably should have known that. Song still slaps, though.
You're a sunflower. I think your love would be too much.
More Than deserves to be the biggest song by both artists.
Dancing with a stranger.
Probably the best continuation of Love Lies I could have asked for, and yet, it's not better than the original.
Tell me why your love lies.
Yep, my favorite song on the year end is a holdover from 2018. A holdover that was only number 3 in its original year. You can see why I was disappointed in this year. Of course, this could also reflect more on how much I love Love Lies, but I still meant what I said in my best list. I don't think that Dancing with a Stranger would have been a strong number 1. Now take what you want, Good as Hell, even Love Lies itself, those are strong list toppers. At least for me. So while 2019 was a decent year for music overall, a part of me still feels that we could have done better. That's all. And that's why I'm hoping for even better in 2020, against all hope with how badly this year has been going in general so far. My final score for this year is 272 out of 500, so I don't know why I'm complaining. After all, the number of hits by terrible people is much lower than it was in 2018, and that's only a good thing. I'm sick of EOT1, Normani should be president, and take care.